Hi, folks. Recently, my wife and I have been trying to get our financial house in order. Seems like a good idea to get all our money out of the five commercial banks who continue to um, support and promote one financial fraud after another. 2008 wasn't enough for them. They just, not much has changed. They keep right on doing what they've been doing. Chase Manhattan, just to cite one example, has paid over $30 billion in fines for illegal behavior. I don't think it's going to stop them. Obviously, they're making more money. They're making so much money that paying $30 billion in fines is not a factor. They make more money than the fines take away. Anyway, sitting there in the lobby of the credit union, filling out forms, gave me a chance to think. Credit unions are managed by people who get paid a salary. Their jobs depend on the continuous functioning of the credit union. Commercial banks, on the other hand, guys that run those, they've got stock options, and their whole thing is to make as much money as possible in any given quarter. That's what their pay, that's what their bonuses are dependent upon. They make ever more exaggeratedly risky investments. Meanwhile, the guys at the old credit union, they just plunk along, making their little, 2 and 3 figure salaries. I don't know, who would you rather have running your money for you? The problem with the commercial banks is even when those guys fail and lose all your money, they still get their commissions. They still get their $1 million bonuses. You're the one that gets to, go off and live under a bridge. Another interesting feature of credit unions is that they are nonprofit. Any extra money that gets made is returned to the investors in terms of higher interest rates and lower borrowing rates. And who are those investors? Why, they're the people who make deposits in the credit union. The credit union is owned by its depositors, not by a bunch of multimillionaires off on some Cayman island somewhere. The community, the people who use the service own the service. I know, it sounds kind of like socialism. Now, I'll tell you, Seattle is one of the most left-wing places in America. And it occurred to me that with a little effort, you hardly need to deal with privately held corporate entities here in town and to do anything that you need to do. We've got the Puget Sound Consumer Co-op. They have 7 or 8 locations. These are modern, well-lit, full-service grocery stores, a far cry from the hippie co-ops of old. You can do all your shopping there. If you need health care, we have Group Health. It's an organization. Again, you join it, you become a member, and you get health care. Now, you do have to pay for it, but it's at a reduced cost. They do try to control costs, and it's a nonprofit. If they make some money, they lower your costs or lower your premiums for using them. Many of you may have heard of REI. It's almost a national chain at this point that started out here in Seattle. It, again, another member-owned company. These people sell and make recreational gear. If you need camping equipment, survival supplies, fancy ski clothing, that's where you go. And believe me, I'm a member. I get a check from them every year. If they make more than, once they've covered their costs of operation, the rest gets divided up and sent back to the members. I haven't actually used this service, but I notice on TV there is an insurance company, an automobile insurance company called Amica. Again, it's member owned. The people who own policies, those are the people that own a share in the company. I belong to a AAA. It's a motoring club. I pay $50 a year. I get all the free road maps I want. I can call them up and have them tow my car. I can call them up and have them jumpstart my car for free. They don't do it for profit. Once they've covered their expenses, that money gets recycled. It's one way or the other. It doesn't end up in some fat ass's bank account. I get my cell phone service through a company called Credo Mobile. They're out of San Francisco, and I'll tell you, they are one of the more infuriating people to deal with as from a phone provider, service provider. They're pretty bad, but they are a nonprofit. They give the money that is generated, the profits that are generated by their operation, to left-wing causes. When you use AT&T and Verizon and any other number of cell phone service providers, that money is just going into the pocketbooks of the very same super rich people who enslave you and the rest of the world. So I'm willing to put up with a little difficulty reaching my customer service rep in order to not have to do that, to not have to feed the people that are trying to screw me. Now, as I said, Seattle's kind of a unique place. And I guess if you're chafing under the foot of capitalism, corporate capitalism now, maybe the best thing to do is pack up and move here. But if that's not an option, maybe the next best thing would be at least to find out the organizations and institutions in your area that are owned by their members, that are not slaves to the profit motive, where the profits are then being siphoned off by a bunch of rich people who could give a shit less what happens to you and yours, and support those things. And if there are none around, well, and you're an energetic sort, maybe you should set them up. Recently, I was up in the back hills of Vermont, and there was a nice little food co-op my mother was shopping at. So it's possible to do this anywhere. Seattle's just a little bit ahead of the curve. With a little thought and planning, you can spend your money in a way that you can just opt out of the whole capitalist profit system. Spend your money locally, spend your money in the community, spend your money with people that care about that community. And and the best part is when some jerk-off fanatic right-winger is blowing on about how socialism is just going to kill this country, and the only thing that can save us is the places like Walmart and other rape jobs. You can look them right square in the eye and say, bullshit. Socialism is alive and well in this country, and you don't have to get in, you don't have to participate in the fraud of corporate capitalism. So there you go. I hope you like it. I hope you live in a place where you can put some of this stuff into action. Good luck. Thanks a lot. Bye.